I have some explaining to do because my topic completely changed, so it's nothing like it was last time. Last time I was talking about SAT, how it relates to socioeconomic status, things like that. I'm still really interested in that, but I've decided to focus a little bit more narrowly. So I might have mentioned to you guys, I work as a classroom director for an organization called Dreamcatchers this year. Basically, I help run an after-school program for middle schoolers in Palo Alto, and I've identified kind of a key problem, which is that I wasn't trained this year. So I'm kind of hitting the ground running without knowing what I'm doing. So the goal of my research project is really to get a sense of what my role should be and how I can best create kind of a positive program culture in whatever capacity I can. So I basically identified 4 ways in which classroom directors can impact the program. So one is through how we create our physical environment. So how do we set up the classroom? What classroom do we choose? What lessons do we prepare? Where do we have students sit? Things like that. Second one, a lot of our job is interacting with parents. Getting that parental involvement is really, really key. There's been so many studies that have shown that parental involvement has a huge role in promoting student success. And then the third and fourth things are, I guess, probably the most obvious ones, is how we interact with the students directly and how we interact with their tutors. Because the way our program works is we have like a teacher, tutor, student model, or classroom director, tutor, student model. So I'm just going to say tutors here. So that being said, I've started looking into research on teaching theory, since I think it will give me a really good background on how I can best work to create a positive program culture in conjunction with students and the parents and the tutors. So I found a few really interesting things that are a little bit counterintuitive. So what's not counterintuitive is that classroom directors should be creating what's called an autonomy supportive environment, one in which students either want to learn because they genuinely enjoy what they're learning, or because they recognize how important it is, not because they feel they have to or because they're going to be punished when they're not working hard. But the ways in which you go about promoting that are sometimes a little bit counterintuitive. So for one, we should be providing a rationale for everything we do as tutors, as teachers. If we don't explain why something's important or why we're doing it, we have no reason to expect that they'll recognize its value. Another interesting thing is that it's not necessarily good to just shut down criticism or complaint. If a student is complaining about a project, it might mean there's something wrong with the project, not that they're just being whiny or bratty middle schooler or something like that. So that's another thing I've learned. Interestingly, there's also a lot of barriers to creating this more autonomy supportive environment that are in many ways cultural. There's kind of a recognition in the United States that a controlling environment and one in which the teachers are kind of taskmasters is actually a more effective learning environment, and that's something I'm going to research how we can overcome. Additionally, there's also kind of a focus on extrinsic rewards in education in America, which is basically the view that, oh, you did well on a problem, we should give you candy for it, right? Because the work isn't valuable enough in itself to merit just working hard on for its own sake. So I'm going to continue looking into these kinds of aspects of teaching theory, and I'm also going to start thinking about how this organization is unique from teaching in pursuing my further research. Thanks.
Thank you, Austin.